Sorry about that. What's up, guys? I was, you know, well, you don't know, but we just gonna rock with it. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? It's your boy Truth. Welcome to your boy show, Truth Be Told. We are here on another fantabulous day. You know, it's getting kind of chilly around these times, and when it gets a little chilly, you gotta throw, throw more coverings on. You gotta get covered up, cause who likes the cold like that? You know, I don't know. I don't know who's a fan of the cold. You know, but it's a thing. It's a thing. Hope you guys are staying warm. And of course, we are approaching the New Year. So they say. And we know it's gonna be a good one. We know it's gonna be an exciting New Year. We know that we all have. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about the whole whatchamajig. How people do like the setting new goals and stuff like that. New Year's resolutions. I don't know how you guys feel about New Year's resolutions. If you guys don't know, I got my YouTube right here, my Facebook right here. Just to let you know. You see me like looking side to side. But yeah, I know a lot of people, they have like their New Year's resolutions, and I ain't knocking it. I ain't knocking it. There were a few years where I tried it out, until I had a changed mindset on approaching like the New Year's and things like that, right? And my new approach, well, my old approach, I'll go over that first. My old approach was basically, like everybody else, you try to maybe write a couple things down, and you try to set strict boundaries to accomplish them. Um, right before the New Year's, so that way, it kind of feels good to start the New Year's fresh. And once the New Year's start, you get into it, and hopefully within a few months you keep going with it, right? Because mostly within a few months, people, within the new year, people like fall off of their plans and goals and all that. So to kind of like bypass that, to bulletproof that, my new approach with going into like a new year is no longer really just telling myself, all right, I'm going to set up, like a New Year's resolution or anything like that. I'm not going to do that anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the new year, in continuation from, what basically starting now, and you want to go into the new year with the mindset of continuing what you have plans, what you have planned in increments. You want to start small. You don't want to, cold turkey it. Can't even speak. You don't want to cold turkey it. You don't want to go into the New Year's with the mindset of, yeah, let's just do a New Year's resolution and start huge, because a lot of people fail that way. It's like almost like a recipe for disaster. Of course, we don't hope for that to happen, but it happens that way sometimes. So, a change mindset is just really just going to the new year, and continuation, from what you got going on now. It's really in the small, I say start now, of course, start now, and it's in the small, the small incremental, what's the word I'm looking for? Goals. Setting the small goals, not the big ones, right? Setting small incremental goals that will get you, that it's like more accomplishable versus being unrealistic. That's the mindset you want to really start off with that. But nonetheless, I hope and wish that everyone's new year, or this upcoming year, is going to be a good one for everyone watching this, and everyone who's not watching this. What do I mean? What's going on? What's going on, Mendo? All right, so now, like I said, we're starting a new year. A lot of us have we want to have a new start in a sense. A lot of us might want to have, might have goals that we want to accomplish already, and things like that, which is always a good thing. And one of the areas that I feel like is huge that, we should really talk about, and actually that I want to talk about today before we start the New Year's, going into the New Year's, is touching on basically like relationships, right? Because I feel like relationships, oh my gosh. What's going on? What's going on, Antonio? What's going on? What I feel like needs to be talked about is, on relationships going to the New Year's. I think one thing that needs to be talked about is relationships. It's appreciate that G, Janelle. I hope you have a great weekend as well, for sure. Great weekend and a good happy New Year, because it's right around the corner, so that's gonna be pretty big for everybody. But yeah, like going into the new year, you guys, there are different topics to talk about that I feel like will enhance us. That I feel like a lot of people are going through it, and they need help, advice in certain areas, especially going to the new year. And I feel like one of the areas that needs to be spoken about is relationships. This is one of the biggest ones. We all know that. Like, we all know that. Just talking about the do's and the don'ts, what to look out for, in relationships. We know that we are in some times where, relationships, it's tough out here in the dating scene, right? Right? Like, we know that the dating pool is not the best right now, and a lot of it has to do with the mindset that a lot of people are in right now. A lot of people are in the mindset of thinking about themselves, being more selfish, thinking about themselves, not thinking about the other person. Also, our mindsets are affected by the media and the worlds around us. I'm trying to say, like, see, confirmation. The media, how it's influencing our mindset on how we should look at relationships. There are a lot of like people, streamers, YouTubers, whatever, people blogging, talking about some are discouraging getting into relationships, which I would never understand that. I don't think anybody should want to walk this world by themselves. Now, granted, relationships are not for everybody. All right, I want to say that. Not everybody is capable to love, to be loved, things like that. Not everybody wants to get married, things like that. There are some selfish people in this world, and if you're selfish, then yeah, you ain't ready. Because, being with someone, being with another person, a whole other person other than yourself, it does require a lot. Not a lot in a bad sense, where it's going to take away from you, because the pros outweigh the cons always. If you find the right one, at least. Let me say that. You gotta find the right one. If you find the wrong one, then yeah, the cons gonna outweigh the pros. I'm trying to say, like, it ain't gonna work for you, work in your favor. So you want to find the right one. And like I said, like, it takes work. It takes sacrifice. I'm trying to say, it takes sacrifice, it takes work, it takes effort. You gotta put effort into it. It takes a lot of, thoughtfulness of the other person. You can't be selfish. You gotta think about the other person as well. Like, these things are important. And these are things that we have to think about on a daily basis. That, if you're trying to be with someone, you can't think about yourself. You just can't think about yourself by yourself. It's not how it works. It's never how it's been, and that's not how it's ever gonna be. and even if you got with somebody and you came with that mindset, let's just say it's not gonna last too long. Like, even if it lasts a while, no one wants to be in a relationship with someone who only thinks about themselves. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, yeah, to some degree, to some level, you have to think about the other person. You know, you can't just think about yourself, and that's all. So, with that being said, I took it upon myself, guys. I wanted to start today talking about, kind of like putting everybody on game. So today's gonna be. I want to talk. I want to talk to the ladies today. All right. I want to talk to the ladies today. Um, the next episode, the next video, is gonna be on. The next episode, I'm gonna talk to the men, but today is gonna be. I want to be talking towards the ladies, right? And today's episode is going to be covering, it's basically covering, and it's going to be about the key, ladies, the key for women to find their spouse. Okay? The person that God has for you. All right? That's what this episode today is going to be about. The key for women to find their spouse. All right? The person that God has for you. All right. So, and once again, this is towards the ladies, fellas. I got you next episode on how that goes. I want to dissect it. I want to divide the two videos because I want to go a little bit in detail with it, with each one. You know, they're different. They're the same, but they're different at the same time. All right. So let's get into it, ladies. Ladies, let's get into it. All right. Let's talk about it. Truth be told. Let's get it. Wait, hold on, my bad. Alright, that was just my bell. Don't mind me. Alright. With class in session, let's talk about it. Alright, now ladies and gents, let's talk about it. So now ladies, once again, this one's for you. Alright? Now I wanna put y'all on game and drop a huge jewel that gets overlooked, that will allow for you as the woman to find and to come across your partner or the person that God has for you. To be more specific, because we can try to go on dates, speed dates, try to find people by ourselves. We can do all that, all we want, but if it's not the person that God really wants for you, a lot can go wrong with it. All right, a lot can go wrong with it. All right. Now this key point that I'm going to mention here, to finding your spouse, ladies. Can anyone guess what that key is? Can anyone guess what that key is? I'll give you a few seconds to kind of think about it to yourself. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. All right, time's up. I try to give you guys a few seconds to think about it. So the question was, can anyone tell me what the key is, the main key for a woman to find their spouse? What's the main key? The number one key. I wanted to go for the head of the snake. Instead of like giving you like multiple points, I'm gonna skip past all of that. I'm just gonna give you the number one key. the one key that you need to finding your spouse, the right one at least. I can't say, just anybody, because that you can do whatever with that one. But we ain't looking for that. We're looking for the right one. So what's the number one key that we all need to finding our spouse? All right. So let's go over it. So no, it is not being feminine. If you thought it was being feminine, it's not that. Okay, and no, it also isn't being submissive. If you thought it was being submissive, it's not that either. These are good answers, but these aren't the number one answer. Okay, which I know it's a topic that isn't easy. Being submissive, by the way, it's not easy for for many to do. Let's start there. Being submissive is not easy for people to do. And it's also not easy. It's not easy for many to do, but that'll be a topic for another time. Let's leave that for another time. All right, let's leave that for another time, for another day. But I'll cut it short. All right, I'll cut it short and give you the number one answer, give you the answer on this. All right, the number one advice that I can give you that isn't just respect, or it's not just respect or self-respect, because though respect is a key, all right, it's a key and it's important, it's still not the source. It's close, but it's not what it is. What's going on, Christian? What's going on, my man? Now, the source, okay, and respecting your spouse, we know it is important, right? All right. And what comes from respect, it derives from self-respect. All right, it derives from self-respect. All right. And basically respecting yourself. Been a while. Oh yeah. Been a while, bro. Just been grinding, man. Silently grinding, but still pushing at the same time, my boy. Yes, sir. You got to keep it moving, keep it pushing. All right. So basically, in order to respect another person, you got to respect yourself first, right? Okay, you do have to have self-respect. Self-respect comes from, and it's derived from growth and growing closer to God, guys. Kind of down, man. What's up? Now, I love that, bro. You're really smart, bro. You're really smart. I'm actually really tired. Nah, I'm not. I'm not necessarily down. I'm tired, bro. I am drained. I was just literally laid out a few seconds ago, and I was laying down. I'm like, man, I gotta get up and do this. But as we're going into the new year, I was like, I'm not gonna miss this. I'm trying to say, I wanted to throw something on here for y'all. I wanted to show up, be responsible, no matter how tired I was. But you smart though, bro. I like how you picked that up. I didn't even mention that the entire video that I was exhausted, I was tired, but you picked it up. So you're one of the smart ones, bro. You're one of the smart ones. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's continue, guys. All right. So basically, guys, self-respect, it starts and it derives from us growing closer to God. People try to get tactics by themselves, learn things by themselves, and it's not the same. It's really not the same. And I'm serious. All right. Now, growing closer to God, and I'll tell you what I mean. Actually, I'll tell you what I mean. Let me tell you what I mean. When we purposely grow closer to God, it shines a light within you that can and will be seen and recognized by the man that God has for you, ladies. Once again, this message right now is for the ladies. Next week, I'm gonna be talking directly to the men, but today I'm talking directly to the ladies on how you can find your spouse, how you can find your person. All right, and so let me restate this. Let me say this again. Now, when we purposely grow closer to God, what happens is it shines a light within us that can be seen by our spouse. That's something that a lot of us don't know. Yo, hey, yeah, sure, bro, for sure. What's going on? Ask away, bro. You know I got you. You know I got you, bro. Yeah, ask away, bro. Whenever you're ready, I got you. So yeah, ladies, once again, when we get closer to God, it shines a light within you that your man, your husband will see. He'll see it. That's how it works. That's why the enemy doesn't want you to be smarter and getting closer to God. He wants you to, be in the world and be lost. Because the closer you get to God, he knows that if your spouse sees that light, it's over with. It's game over. It's gonna attract him, and then boom. It's game mode, baby. It's game mode, baby. Like that's how it's gonna go. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm trying to say? So that's a point. That's a point right there for you. All right, hold on. I have a question here. It says, okay, this is getting good. I'm reading it for you, bro. I just met today a waitress. I think a 21 or 23-year-old. She was very friendly and nice with me. We talked for a minute. I can't for the love figure what to do. Okay, and you have more here. You said, ask her out. I'm kind of anxious because I've seen her with a dude at the cafe she worked. She was just leaning with her hand on his shoulder. Tough one, bro. Tough one. Man. Man. Well, what you could do, bro, is you can find out. I want to say in that situation, you can find out if she's taken or if she's single. Start there. In this situation, yes, if she was being friendly with you, hold on. Okay, there it is. So yes, if she was being friendly with you, there are some people, some women who, they can just be casually friendly with you. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's no shame in being friendly with people. Just because someone's friendly doesn't mean that they're flirtatious. Let me see. I was with two friends. Hold on 1 second. One sec. No. Alright, I'm from my phone by right now. I don't know yet. Monsieur Telephone. I'll see. Parle avec le gars de pouet.
Hello?
Funny. Alright, so sorry about that. Let's get back to this. So it says, I was with two friends. One wasn't paying attention, and one said that we had a good vibe together. Okay, out of the entire cafe, she was chatting with us. Okay, so like I said, bro, it can go one of two ways, bro. She could really just be friendly, or she could be feeling you at the same time. 1 second. One second.
Kasi paralo.
Kila.
No, may ulat lamin na telephone na alis about madin kile.
Tomorrow, maybe, I don't know.
Today will be swali ba soup will be last
All right, maybe we went 1 hour. We'll see.
1 hour, okay.
All right, sorry about that once again. All right, so yeah, bro. What was I saying? So yeah, like, it can go one of two ways. Like, she can really be friendly, but once again, if she was, I mean, if the vibe was there too, that's a whole nother topic, because she could be feeling you, or feeling you guys, the vibe like could have been right too. You know what I'm trying to say? That's why I said to, before you just assume anything, find out if she is single. If you're interested, you're into her, find out she's single. That's the first thing I would say. And from there, yeah, you'll be able to know from there if you proceed forward or not. Find out if she's, seeing somebody where she's single. If she's seeing someone, then you know to immediately respect it and just back off. Be like, all right, never mind. I thought you were single. Actually, I'll tell you how you can say it. Right. All right. So this is how you can say it if she is taken. Right. You want to go and say it like this. You want to say, okay, after you get your answer, you find out if she is taken. You want to say it like this for her to respect you. Be like, hey, yeah, I did not know that. Hold on 1 second. Oh man. Oh yes, I do. Whew. Let me put my phone on charge. I don't want my phone to go off on me. Alright, I might have to move this over. Hold on 1 second. My bad, bro. I gotta readjust. If this thing can stay still. Okay, I'm gonna need to put this. Hold on. Alright, let's try there. Bet. Okay, my bad. So, should I compliment her vibe? Yeah. And then be straightforward. What is up with this thing? 1 second, I'm having bad connection issues. One sec. What's going on, Tree? What's going on, Cat? What's happening, Katrina? So yeah, compliment her vibe and then be straightforward with her and ask her out. Alright, bet. So like I said, now what you want to do is you want to find out first, can I talk to you later? I don't have Wi-Fi at all. Yeah, you can talk to me later too, bro. We'll definitely chat it up even more. Cause I'm having really bad connection issues right now too. I don't know why I keep going in and out. But, yeah, we can chat it up later as well, bro. But I'm also gonna leave a little snippet on what to do on here right now if you do get to hear it, and reach out to me, inbox me on the matter. We'll talk more about it. But yeah, what you could do, you find out that she is with the person, is you alright, you respectfully back off, tell her, hey, listen, okay, didn't know you were taken, but I respect it. And then you proceed to tell her like why you thought what you were the reason why you're interested, basically. And you say, hey, like I like the vibe that we had. I just thought you were single. Didn't think you had anybody. But since you do, or if you do, I respect it and back off kindly. That's the area where a lot of guys mess it up at. When a girl tells them that they got somebody, then a lot of guys they see that as a try harder card. Like, I need to try harder to get at the person, like, and that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Like, if someone tells you that they're talking to somebody, you respect it, and you back off, you know. But too many people see it as a try harder card. Like there's a stamp on the person's forehead, like try harder. That's not how it works. All right. So yeah, but if she tells you that she isn't seeing anybody, and she's by herself, she's single, then what you could do is proceed to tell her, okay, well, I really like their vibe. You seem really cool, and then you proceed to the next stage of that, which is asking her out, asking her what her, if she would like to maybe grab I don't know, the older heads will say like coffee and stuff. I guess you could say like grab a coffee or, maybe go grab something to eat. Maybe grab something to eat, go and chill somewhere, at a restaurant or something. So you want to start light, not too heavy. You also, obviously, like I said, you want to show interest, let her know that you are interested. That's the important part. You show them that you are interested, but start light. And, yeah, the rest is history. After that, you good to go. But, like I said, I know we both having connection issues, so we'll chat it up, bro. Right. So let's continue, guys. Let's continue. Hold on. Okay. One sec. Let me readjust this again because my connection want to act a little crazy. Alright, there you go. Connection back on. Angle's a little different, but we still could. Alright, let's get into it. Let's continue, guys. So this one, once again, is tomorrow. If you guys are just getting in, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I got some more advice content on the way, coming soon. This one today is talking about, this is towards my ladies, on how you can find your godly spouse, or just, your godly spouse overall. The spouse that God has for you, or, your spouse, basically. This is putting you directly on game how it works. So we're getting back into it. Let's get back into it, guys. Alright, so the last point that I left off at was basically the closer that you as the woman get closer to God, what it does is it has God plant a seed, a light inside of you, right? And what happens is that light grows and you become a different person in God. And what happens is whoever your person is, your spouse is, they are going to see your light. They're going to see you, and then they're going to see your light as well. It's a two-way street. They're going to see your physical. They're going to say, oh, she looks attractive. Because let me tell you something. Real quick. There are times where, or not just times, there are a lot of guys, especially in today's society, today's world, we can see women and not be drawn to them. Like we can see them and be like, they are beautiful, they're attractive physically, but basically we cap it off at that. We leave it at that. We're not gonna proceed forward in our thoughts and our or anything towards that person, because at a certain age, us as men, we see that it's more than just a physical thing. Alright, I'm putting y'all on game right now. You probably won't hear this anywhere else. I mean, you probably will, but you probably won't. So, at a certain age, it definitely, like, us as men, we know way better than to just go for a person based off of just looks alone. Because we realize that we have a lot more to lose, right? And so basically we know that we can't just make decisions solely based off of a person's physical appearance alone. It's not just, oh, she looks good, I have to act on it. Or she looks good, I'm gonna wife her. Like, the only thought process that comes across our minds, if a woman looks good, is, oh, can I mess with her physically? And then I'll be done with the situation. Or as a placate kind of deal. But not to actually take you seriously as a wife. we're looking for a next level type, you know, for a spouse, for someone that's willing to take you serious. We're not looking, if you want to find somebody to just mess around with for like a one night stand type of deal, then you can go to a bar or a club or something and find somebody out there who's on the same level as you. But if you're looking for someone to really be serious with and take them serious and go all the way with, then you want to come at it completely differently. All right? And so to come at it completely differently, you have to understand the mindset first. Also, that a lot of these guys who are serious, you got to understand the mindset that they're in order to know how to approach them. All right? You got to approach men who are serious differently than you would approach men in the world. We are two different types of beings. We are two different types. We are not the same. All right? How I was in the world is not how I am today. Before, I can see the differences. Now, me today, I'm a whole different person. All right? So that's why, once again, you can't compare someone who is in the world or someone who is genuinely closer to God, someone who's genuinely close to trying to get, grow and get closer to God, to try to genuinely be better in life as a person. Two different beings, two different person. Not saying that people who aren't trying to get closer to God cannot grow and things of that nature, but it's just two different levels to it of seriousness, right? So when we look at it from that point, right? Sorry, I saw someone. It kind of knocked me off a little bit. Knocked me off a little bit of focus. So if you're trying to find your spouse, you're trying to find someone to be serious with, you got to look at it from their lens, how they see things. And one of the things I can tell you seriously is, like I said, once we get to a certain age as men, we no longer look at it from, oh, she just looks physically attractive. Her face looks good. Her body looks good. Like, it's not just that to us anymore. It's more than that. All right? We don't look at just the exterior anymore as adult men. We look at the internal, the heart posture, the mindset of a woman. What's your heart look like? What's your mind look like? What's your spirit look like? What's your soul look like? That's what us grown men are thinking about. Why do I say that too? Because us men who are on this level, we understand once again that we have a lot to lose. We have a lot to decide on, and this is an area, a decision that needs to be made that's serious. We understand this is a serious decision. All right, it's not just a little decision to be made. It's a real serious decision who we decide to be with for the rest of our life. We know it's a lifetime decision. All right. That's why it's it's good to look all prettied up and stay focused on your pretty, and but you can't just approach any kind of man with just that alone. Like he's gonna see right through that. If you approach a man with just solely based, thinking you're gonna get through with just how you look physically, it ain't gonna last too long. I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna last too long. The only type of man that's gonna fall for that is the type of man that he knows himself that he's just there just to mess with you physically, and then leave you then leave you after that. I'm trying to say, like, not actually take you serious. He's there to play games. Those are the type of men that you will attract if you only focus on your physical appearance. The ones who are there to play games. I'm being real with you right now. I'm putting you on game. Game. EA Sports. It's in the game. You know how I go. So, that's just to like put you on that, right? I'm sure they probably won't want me to tell you this. They're probably mad that I'm saying, like, at least the bad ones. The good ones are probably like, shouting and rooting me on, like, yeah, he's right. Yeah, get him, bro. And then you got the ones who are against what I'm saying. They don't want you to know that I'm putting you on game because I'm ruining their game. They're probably like, hating from the back, with the rats. They're probably like sitting there like, he's telling them our business. No, we got to get him, like all that. So, it is what it is. But I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do what my name says, my name title says. I'm gonna talk the truth. I'm gonna speak the truth. All right, we're gonna speak the truth today, tomorrow, and every other day. All right. So yeah, ladies, that's just to kind of like tell you on what to look out for. All right, on who to look out for, what type of men to look out for. To kind of put you on game that that's the approach. All right, let's continue, guys. Let's continue now. Now I last left off at basically us getting closer to God, right? As women, getting closer to God. When you get closer to God, you begin to change. All right, you begin to change. You begin to grow spiritually. Even and you ain't even gotta be like the smartest person in the bunch. You ain't gotta be, super saint. You ain't gotta be none of that. All a good man has to see is that you're coming with a humbled heart posture. He wants to see that you're at least trying. You know what I'm trying to say? He wants to see that you're actually trying to do right, to be in the light, to grow. That these are all the things he really only wants to see. He wants to see that you're serious. Because a guy can't take you serious unless he actually knows that you're trying to be serious, right? Right. Like, that's just what it is. Like, and that's how the man will be drawn to you, because he'll see your seriousness and it'll draw him to be more serious himself. And I will say this, he will notice. All right, like I said, you ain't got to be the smartest person in the room. No one's telling you to be the smartest person, and do the whole nine. The only thing that a good, decent man is looking for is basically seeing that your heart is in the right place. He wants to see that you're serious. All right. So that way, once he sees that you are serious, he can then further move forward with that. With that whatever thought process he might have towards you. But one of the quickest ways to get him to like not fully take you serious is to just be focused only on like your looks, your appearance, and nothing inside, nothing internal. Just all physical. All he has to do is see that, and he knows that he can't take you serious. Trying to tell you, trust me. Now, when you are in the world, when you're in the world and you're lost, when you're in the world, basically, it's kind of like, in a sense, you're lost, right? You're lost. And when you're in the world and you're lost, your man cannot find you. Your spouse cannot find you. If you're lost, and how can I say it like this? Because whether he's lost or he's whether he's closer to God, or let me actually stay on track, because I don't want to do too much in one sitting. Now, his closeness to God, will also play a determining factor in the process. All right, his closeness to God will play a determining factor, to be honest with you. That's why your enemy, the devil, tries so hard to fight you from growing your relationship with God. Why you think there's so much going on in the media right now? Why you think, there's the whole, these satanic rituals, and, the government has a lot of, can't say much, but there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that they have their God that they worship, because they don't want you as the people to get closer to God. They have their own hidden agendas. They don't want you, the people, to actually grow closer to God, because they know that there's a lot to it as well. There's a lot that comes along with it when you do get closer to God. That's why the devil fights us so hard to not grow closer to God. He fights us so much because he knows that if you're growing closer to God, he knows that this will be the outcome. He knows that the outcome is going to be you finding your spouse. And he doesn't want you to discover that out. He doesn't want you to find that for yourself. He doesn't want you to discover this. The devil knows that if you get closer to God, especially as the man, if the man gets closer to God, I mean, it's both men and women. And if you both grow closer to God faster, then it'll only speed up the process of you finding your other half faster. You get what I'm saying? 1 second. Right? That's just how that is. It's a process. He doesn't want you to find your spouse. The devil does not want you to find your spouse. And I know that he's mad that I told you that. I know that the devil's mad that I told you that little secret there. That the closer that you each get closer to God, that's how it speeds up the process. But the more you are not closer to God, the more of a hindrance it is for you to find your spouse. If you both are getting closer to God on your own end, guess what God's going to do? One day he's going to allow you guys to cross paths. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you what it is. Alright. But first, ladies, because once again, this whole episode is towards the ladies. But first, ladies, we have to submit to God. Alright? We have to submit to God and change our ways. To turn from what's popular, from society. On what's trending, the whole trending and what's popular, and follow God's way. We can't, anything that's happening in the world, you gotta ignore that. You gotta cut that off. And follow God's way. In the near future, right? In the near future, I'll be able to go over a personal experience of my own when the time is right. But all I will say is to give you like a little bit about my story and background is that I'm the type that I'm not easily convinced. I'm the type, because at least my experiences through life has made me who I am today. Like I'm not easily convinced. I'm not easily swayed, easily persuaded. Yeah, no. You can say that I'm picky, or that I choose hard. But no, it's none of those really. I do have standards though. I have standards, and because in this world, it will teach you that beauty is not enough. This world will teach you that beauty is not enough. That I have to be able to trust you and see your heart. That you have to have substance. You gotta have substance. I gotta be able to see a light within you. You gotta have substance, your light, the light that's within you, and your intentions. I gotta be able to see your intentions. Because once again, this world will show you and teach you to not lean on the exterior of a person only. That's what this world would do. It'll teach you to not lean on the exterior only. Yes, yes, this world will teach you to have love issues and trust issues. One of the main indications that a man in society is looking for in a spouse is that he can trust you. That's one of the main things a man is looking for in a woman, is that he can trust you. There's a lot of women who use their physical appearance to deceive men. And that position has put a lot of men in a lot of trouble and problems. And it makes a lot of men realize, sometimes too late, but as they grow and get older, it makes them realize that beauty alone is not it. Because once again, there are a lot of pretty women who are deceptive. They're deceptive on many different levels. You know, that can be explained on a different episode, but yeah, it just takes away the trust that men have in women when men see that women use their physical appearance, their beauty, for their advantage. That's a turnoff. It's a huge turnoff, actually. To me, I know it is, and I'm sure to a lot of men watching this, you feel the same way. I mean, you can go ahead and then drop a comment. Let me know if you feel the same way. Smash the like button. Alright? Because, like I said, as we get to a certain age, us fellas, we get tired of it. We get tired of just the pretty card. Like, you gotta come with more than just pretty. Like, what else are you bringing to the table? What's your heart like? What's your mind like? That's what I'm literally putting you guys on game. If you're trying to find a certain type of man, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're thinking about. Not just how you look physically. All right. Basically, now, and you know what? Let me say this. The easiest way for a man to know that you are genuine is that you are following after God genuinely. That's how he would know. That's why I told you from the beginning, follow God. Because he himself, he'll basically see that you're following God, and it'll kind of like click instantly. because he himself, if he's following God, and he knows, obviously he knows God, he's following God, right? He knows that if you're following after God too, that, sorry, I got distracted again. Apparently there's a lot happening in my neighborhood today. I don't know if the devil wants me to get this out to you guys. I mean, this is a topic on relationships, so anything relationship discussion, the devil does not want those kind of information to get out, because information on relationships, like, it holds weight. He knows that if you are able to find your spouse, it's gonna cause problems to him in his kingdom, and he don't want that. Like, he wants y'all to be by ourselves, to yourselves, never to find the other person. Like, that's just how he works, and it's weird. He's a weirdo, and that's just what it is. Alright, but we're gonna push past that. Let's finish this. Alright, so once again, now, he knows that if you're following God, this is the guy. If the guy knows that if you as the woman, if you're following God, he knows that there are levels and boundaries that you won't cross and you'll respect. Right? Thus, retranslating to, he can and will trust you. If you have boundaries, if you have limitations, things that you won't cross, you won't say certain things, you won't do certain things, you won't dress a certain type of way, all it's going to do is have the guy respect you even more. He's going to be like, this one right here, okay, I see you, you see me, I see you. Yeah, like, that's how it works. He gonna see it, trust me. He gonna see it. He see that you respect yourselves. He see that if you respect yourself, the man is gonna see it. I'm just being real. The more if you wanna dress like how girls out there in the world are dressing, and think that that's what's gonna draw him in, like, that's not gonna. I'm telling you, he's gonna, like, it's like a repellent. The devil knows it's gonna repel him. That's why the devil makes women dress a certain type of way, because by dressing a certain type of way, it knows that a virtuous man, a man that actually wants to create a future with you, he's not attracted by that. I hope y'all caught that. Hit that like button, y'all. If y'all agree with that. The devil knows that if you dress, it's like, super spontaneous, like how people out in the world wants to dress and stuff, he knows that it's going to repel. It's gonna repel how the man that wants to build a relationship with you, the right one at least too, it's gonna repel him. He's not gonna want to deal with you, because he already knows what you come with. He's gonna, even if you are a different person, even if you are different mentality, you're not actually like that. Just how you look physically, he's gonna instantly be like, oh nah, she's probably just like the rest. Instantly, I'm telling you, it's an instant thing too. But if you respect yourself and you dress yourself a little bit more, carry yourself a little bit better, you have limitations, you have boundaries, the man's gonna see you and be like, okay, I see you, you're a little different. You're a little different. Okay. And he's gonna mosey on along closer to you. I'm just telling you what I know. Y'all. Once again, the devil will not want me to tell you this. He is highly upset right now. You probably won't get a lot of this information from other people, but I'm gonna tell you what it is. Alright? Now, basically, once again, the guy will trust you. That's what it falls down to. The guy will trust you. He's gonna trust you more. All right. Now, what I'm saying is, it will reignite the fire within him that only he will recognize. The fire that only the fire that only God put inside of him, that will cause him to recognize the fire in you as the woman. Okay? I'm just being real with you. I'm just keeping it real with you. And telling you what it is. I'm just being real with you and telling you what it is. That if you are for real in wanting to find your spouse for real, most people won't humble themselves enough and won't want to follow after God. That's the key principle there. Following after God. It's really simple. We make it hard. They would want to do it by themselves. They want to do it themselves by themselves without God. And we all see how that happens, how that works out. It doesn't work out very well when we do it our own way. So that once again, they try to do it by themselves, right? Without God. And we gotta look at our situation, right? We gotta look at our situations, our choices, and ask ourselves, how has that panned out for ourselves? We have to really ask ourselves, from our history, our past, how has that panned out for ourselves? If you want real results, give it to God. If you want real results, give God a try. I'm going to say it again. If you want real results, give God a try. Now, I said this one was for the ladies, right? I said this one was for the ladies. I'll make one for the men on the next episode as well, to balance it out, because we can't have a solution for one and not the other. You know, for one side and, you know, of the coin, not the other side of the coin, right? All right. Now, ladies. Now, ladies. I'm gonna start talking like Barack Obama. Now, ladies. You are precious. You are. All right? On the real. All jokes aside. Ladies, you are precious. All right? You should treat yourselves as such. Don't play hard to get. And don't be hard to get. Well, yeah. Don't play hard to get and don't be hard to get. But get closer to God and He'll mold you to the woman that you're supposed to be. Alright? Yeah. The being hard to get part, that can fall under a certain category. I was going to dissect that a little bit. Because basically you want to be hard to get for the world, obviously, but you don't want to be hard to get for the person that is for you. You want to make it as smooth as possible, you know, the whole nine. So that's just that. And I don't mean that by you being harsh, by the way. By being hard to get, I don't mean that by you being harsh. Alright? Or difficult. But the opposite. You want to be simple. You want to be a light. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, you You want to be a light, for the right person. For the wrong people, obviously you don't want to give them a hard time, but you don't want to just go with the flow of, I'm trying to say, like, that's also not how it works. You want to wait for God's timing, His approval, things of that nature. You don't want to just run with anybody that you just see that shows interest with you. That's not how God wants you to react. He wants you to kind of like be in observation mode. You gotta be a huge observationist to the person. See if the person's serious about you, and then you move forward from there. All right. And that's a real thing, by the way. Real thing. And basically what that looks like is you valuing yourself. All right? Valuing yourself and in finding your worth. And knowing you're worthy. And basically having the man that God has for you to know that as well and to discover that. When you, as the woman, know your worth, it also allows the man to know your worth as well. If you don't know your own worth, it makes it harder for the men to know your worth. It does. When you're in the world and you're lost, doing anything and everything, it makes the right man, it makes it hard for the right man to know your worth. Brings me right back to the whole dressing situation. When you dress a little more like respectfully, the man knows, okay, I know her worth. If you dress how other people in this world want to dress, it makes him automatically think her worth is not fully there, which once again is a repellent. He's repelled from you. He doesn't want to deal with you. He's not drawn to you. That's the power of what the influence that the devil has right now in this world. That's why people can't find their spouse. People can't find their spouse because they don't recognize their spouse. You recognize your spouse when your spouse is doing what God wants them to do. Once again, I don't make the rules. I'm just speaking what I know, telling the truth. I don't make the rules, though. I just speak it. The Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. He knows that this thing is good. I'm going to repeat that. The Bible says that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. That means he knows that this thing is good. He has to know that this thing is good. That's from the eyes of the man. His perspectives, his visuals, his the way he perceives how you are as a person. He has to be like, man, like, yeah, obviously, like, and I'm not even talking about physical. I'm taking like how a person looks out of the equation, because too many people lean on how a person looks, pretty and this and that. Like, pretty is good for a certain extent, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about a person that's actually willing to take you serious. He has to see that you have a good heart. He has to see, like, man, like, she's a good thing. Like, I like her mindset. Like, I like the way she carries herself. I like the way she, her heart, her spirit is set up. I can just feel her vibe. Her vibe is good. Things of that nature. That is what you want to look at. So, when a man knows that it's a good thing, that's when he can move forward with what everything else. If he's interested, he'll move forward. If he does not think it's a good thing, he will not move forward. And I'm talking about a good guy, a good man, or a man that has good intentions. I ain't talking about just any man. If you're having issues attracting or trying to understand how the mindset of a certain men work, I'm putting you on game today. If you have not already, watch this video from the beginning, so that way you can catch all the points from the very beginning, so you don't miss a single drop. All right. Oh, smash that like button as well. Smash that like button. Help me get this on the algorithm. I feel like some people need to hear this. Help me get it out there on the algorithm. Smash that like button and hit that subscribe button as well. All right. So, once again, the guy, he knows that this is a good thing, and that it will only add to his life and not take away from his life. All right? The only way that he will recognize is if you first recognize. You have to first recognize the light in you so that he can recognize the light in you. Because if you don't recognize, how can he? He can't. That's just really what it boils down to. So I'm going to ask this question again. The same question that I asked at the beginning of this video. Now that I gave you the answer to it. What is the number one key? What's the number one key that allows a woman to find her spouse, her man, the person that God has for them? What's the number one key? You can say self-respect, but that's not the source. Because self-respect is only the aftermath of it. It's the effects from the cause. The cause, you remember back in school, it's the cause and effect. It's only the effect. Self-respect is the effect. The cause is God. Is growing your relationship closer to God. That's the cause. Because when you grow closer to God, you're automatically gonna respect yourself more. Automatically. And when you do respect yourself more, that is when the antennas of your man is gonna be like, bleep, bleep. Oh. You know, like his scent is gonna start kicking in, and he's gonna, little deer, the little deer trail will be more clear, and he'll be able to find you better. Grow closer to God, and you will immediately grow respect for yourself, which will also in turn have him respect the fact that you respect yourself and act on that. You see how it's like a chain effect? Grow closer to God, you respect yourself, he likes that you respect yourself, and he will act on that. I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you what it is. But you see how simple that chain of effect is, but you also see how difficult this world makes it. This world makes it difficult. This world is the one that makes it difficult for people to find their spouse and things of that nature, because y'all want to lead on your own understanding and your own way. People want to lead on their own understanding in their own way and make it difficult for themselves. I'm not gonna lie. For a time being, when I was, a little in my younger days, I would be, on social media, looking at certain influencers, trying to get advice about what to say to a spouse, to a person to get their attention, things of that nature. Like, I was heavy in that. I was heavy trying to get an understanding in that area because I wanted to really learn how can you attract the opposite, the opposite sex, the opposite person. And these are things that if you're serious and wanting to be with somebody, you're going to want to dig for that kind of information. But what I didn't know as a young person is what really works. That stuff is not, it doesn't really sustain. It's not real. You know what I'm trying to say? It's almost like plastic to silver and gold. If you really want to like have like a comparison, that's really what it's like. Getting advice from the world is like plastic, and doing it God's way is like silver and gold. Just being real, which is just keeping it real. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I don't have much more to go on that. I'm gonna leave it there. Like I said, ladies, growing closer to God. That's really the answer. Growing closer to God, because when you do that, you automatically gain the self-respect. Because it's really in most cases, it's the self-respect that the men look for. Because he knows, once again, that if the self-respect is there, then he knows that you're serious. And he knows that you can trust you. Because when a man sees that you have a high level of self-respect for yourself, he knows that you're not like the rest. He knows that you're serious. He knows that, that's kind of like what can help to differentiate you from the rest. Separate you from the needle. It's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. He can't find you if you're not helping him to find you. I don't make the rules. But truth be told. Alright, y'all. I actually have a few verses. I want to end this with a few verses, right? I got a few verses that I want to go over that will kind of like touch on the subject that I feel like might help. So let's go over them real quick. Alright, let's go. I got so this is under strength and virtue. This is kind of like in the strength and virtue category, right? I have a Proverbs 31 verse 10. And this says, "An excellent wife, who can find? She is far more precious than jewels." See? I just got done talking about it. And this is saying, who can find her? And it's saying how she's far more precious than jewels, saying that she is something kind of hard to find, and she's also rare. That's what it's saying. Do you want to be rare, or do you want to be like the rest? Ask yourself that. I hope you don't say like the rest. Oh, please don't say like the rest. Oh my gosh. All right, let's move on. Let's move forward. All right, I got a Proverbs 31 verse 25. And this says, "She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come." It shows a woman's strength. That you don't take everything so serious. What's your dignity level like? Right? I got a Proverbs 31 verse 26. Proverbs 31 verse 26. "She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue." As a woman, what comes out of your mouth when you speak? Do you really take the time to think about the things that you say? Or you just aggressively speaking about anything and everything. You love gossiping. Your mouth is harsh. Your mouth is not clean. Your mouth is dirty. You say filthy things when you speak. These are things that a man will not appreciate. These are things a man will not respect. These are things that will repel a man, or a good man. A good man will be repelled by a girl with a mouth that just like talks about whatever, whenever, like has no control of her mouth. Like, do you speak wisdom? Do you speak knowledge? Do you speak understanding? Are you understanding? Or are you just reckless? I'm sure as I ask that question, some of y'all can relate, and I probably hit a couple strings of chords, but I kind of don't care, cause we all need to wake up. If it hit a nerve, good. We need to wake up. Going into this new year, we need to wake up. Growing up, as we get older, we need to wake up. We're not kids anymore. I got a Proverbs 31 verse 30. And this says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. I love this one, actually. I'll read it again for you, for some of my deceptive women out here. If you're a woman and you're listening to this and you're on that deceptive level, listen to this one. I want to repeat it for you. Proverbs 31 verse 30, so you can find it in the Bible yourself. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. I want to emphasize that part. Beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. That means if you lean on your beauty alone, that's not it. Someday your beauty is gonna go. It's gonna diminish, basically. And then what do you have after that? You could be the most beautiful woman right now in the world, and if you're leaning on your beauty alone and you're not building up your character, you're not building up your spirit, you're not building up your mind, you're not building up your heart posture, if you're not building yourself up and you're only leaning on your physical appearance alone, nah, it ain't gonna work. It's fleeting. It's gonna diminish someday. If you're only leaning on your beauty and that's all you have to show for, one day once that's gone, what are you gonna do next? Think about that. A lot of women don't think about that, actually. I'm sure as I told you to think about that, I'm sure you're probably like in panic mode just thinking about it, like, oh my gosh, he's right. Oh my gosh, when I turn like 40 plus years old, 50, well, I want to say 50 plus, maybe 60 plus. 60 plus years old, 50, 60 plus years old, like, what am I going to do? You can't lean on your beauty. You just can't. You got to have more to bring to the table for a man to respect you. Think about it like this. There are other beautiful women in this world. You don't think there's other beautiful women in this world? You think you're the only beautiful woman in this world? Now, obviously, to your man, you're gonna be the only one that he has eyes for, and your beauty in his eyes is gonna be set to a whole nother level in his own eyes. Like my wife, my girl. Like I already know I'm only gonna have eyes set for her. And she's going to know that. I'm going to make it known that she ain't got to worry about me worried about looking at another woman, like, whether it's in person or behind her back when she's not around me. I'm not going to be sitting there staring at another woman, and stuff like that, and looking at stuff like that, like, because I got mine. It's a level of respect that we need to have for our spouse that I feel like has been lost. And we need to get that respect back. All right, let's move forward. Let's move forward. Now this is under faith. This is like under faith and guidance. How a woman is ought to be under faith and guidance. All right. I got a Psalms 46 verse 5. Psalm 46 verse 5. This is your faith level now. Faith and guidance. God is within her. She will not fail. Sorry, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day. God is within you. You will not fall. God is with you. You will not fall. You feel like you're going through troubled times. As long as you got God with you, that's all that matters. You see how this all ties back to just following God? If you just follow God, you see how much easier everything else will be? Not only will you not fall, but you'll be able to also find your spouse while following him. You see how beautiful that is? How easy he makes it for us? But we make it difficult. We make it difficult. All right, let's continue. 1 Peter 3, chapter 3, verse 3 through 4. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3 through 4. And this says, your beauty should not come from outward adornment, but from your inner self. The unfading beauty. Hold on, one second. Okay, sorry. Okay, so let me finish this because I see my battery is looking low. All right, let's finish this up. I rather finish quickly versus having my everything die on me. That's gonna be worse. I don't want that. All right, 1 Peter 3 verse 3 through 4 says, your beauty should not come from outward adornment. We already talked about this, but from your inner self, the unfading beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is of great worth in God's sight. See, it's the same thing that I already talked to you about. And it's basically saying that God sees it the same way. He's looking at how you perceive yourself internally, not just your physical appearance. That's how God looks at it too. Inner beauty. Not outer beauty, inner beauty. What's your inside looking like? Alright? There's a lot of women, and this falls back under why a lot of guys like myself have trust issues, and we don't trust very easily. We don't trust. That's why the dating pool is so weird the way that it is, because guys like myself, for one, we kind of like took ourselves out of the equation because we don't trust very easily. Like, y'all ain't gotta take us out of the equation. We took ourselves out of the equation because we already don't trust easily. That's why it's harder to find a good man. People say, oh, there's no good man around. There's no good man around. No, they're around. You're just not showing them why they should be around. You gotta give them a reason to. You gotta give them a reason to. That's really what it comes down to. All right, let's move forward. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, so do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This is basically falling under courage. The level of courage that God wants you to have with walking with him. Right? It just got bright. It just got bright. So yeah, as you walk with him, he wants you to have a level of courage. Have a level of courage with him, in him. that you're, when you're walking with him, in him, and yeah, the rest will be history. He got you all throughout your walk. He wants you to be courageous. As woman, he wants you to be courageous. To follow him and be courageous. Right? And okay. Okay. And now, and this is the last point. Yo, what's going on, bro? I see that. That's what's up. Yeah, bro. Don't feel free once again to hit me up, message me, and I'll give you more info, bro, on the matter. I got you on that, all right? Hit me up. I can't hear you at all, just so you know. Hold on, my bad. I don't know why it's... Can you... Something is wrong with the live. I told you the devil ain't want... Hold on. Interesting. That's different. Can you hear me now? Or nah? Can you hear me now? Or nah? Joe mio. Alright, I'm just gonna do that. How about now? Hopefully you can, because I don't know what happened if that's the case. I have to try to figure it out, and that's crazy. Wow. Alright. I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna finish this right here, and I'm gonna look into it. That's crazy. So the last point, cause I'm down to the last one right now. Ephesians 5:22 verse 24 says, "Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord." Okay? Submit to your own husbands as to the Lord, under martial roles. So, oh, you know what? Okay. So, I'm thinking this might have happened. All right. Hold on, one second. That's interesting. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to look into it. I'm gonna look into it. But yeah, you guys, I'm gonna have to end this here. Apparently I got technical difficulties. I'm gonna look into it and see what's going on. And yeah, I gotta check this out. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna check it out. And much love if I don't get back on. And I might even have to redo this whole thing again if this thing did not go through. And I don't mind redoing this. I would just have to redo it. Alright, cause I'm about to end it. I'm about to end it right now. And I'm gonna see how things go. I'm gonna check it out and see if I can hear it. Alright, it's all good. Appreciate you, Christian, bro. I'm gonna check it out. Holla at y'all. Y'all be safe, alright? Have a happy New Year, y'all. Happy New Year, y'all. Love you guys. Happy New Year.